Hey everybody. I was a high school teacher for 5 years before I moved to LA to do stand-up comedy. I found I had a real knack for getting ruthlessly heckled, so I thought I would give it a shot in Hollywood. I will say high school students have a leg up in terms of heckling when it comes to like comedy club performers. I've heard boos, I've heard you sucks. I have not, since I've been doing stand-up, heard a 15-year-old girl in the front row call me a faggot in Spanish over and over again. So I'm a little more at peace here than I was as a teacher. Maricón, by the way, in case you were wondering, that is the word. I didn't know that word when I started teaching, yeah. I didn't know that. I didn't speak any Spanish. I was working in a primarily Spanish-speaking high school. My parents let me take French in high school because they didn't care about me. So I took a useless language. And so I go into this Spanish-speaking high school. The only Spanish I knew was, they say, please stand clear of the doors in Spanish, right before the monorail doors close in Disney World. I memorized that when I was 5 years old. They say, please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténgase alejado de las puertas. That's all I knew. And I knew it from when I was like 5 years old. I didn't even know how to spell it. So I go and I hear them saying Maricón over and over again. And I'm like, oh, they're having fun. Like, I just desperately wanted to be the cool, relatable teacher. And so I thought they were saying, like, American. I thought they were kind of like poking fun, having fun with me, like he's a white teacher, he's American. And so I would be like, all right, guys, you know what, guys? Like, it's cool. Like, I'd pull up my stool. This is high school English teacher stool. This is what this is. And I'd be like, guys, let's be real for a second. I am a Maricón. And I'm proud to be a Maricón. And honestly, guys, like, if you work hard enough, you can be a Maricón too. With my help, you'll all be Maricons. Cool. See you guys tomorrow. Being cool and relatable was a consistently unsuccessful strategy for me as a teacher. Starting from my first day, I get my roster on my first day of teaching. I see the name Eric Estrada pop up. And I was like, yeah. So Eric Estrada is an actor. He was in the show Chips, which was on in like the late 70s. I was not alive. But I see this name and I was like, yeah, this is it. This is it. First day of school, I'm gonna be so funny. And so I'm reading the list and I say, Eric Estrada, huh? And I like give him a little one of these. Because this is relatable. And I said, I'm gonna call you Chips. And the whole class just burst into laughter. And I was like, yeah. I was like soaking it in, like, I've done it. It's taken me 5 seconds and I've gotten through to these kids. And so for a week, I'm leaning heavy on Chips. Like every time there's a lull, I'm like, Chips, help me out on this one. Chips, where's your homework? Chips. Every time the whole class starts laughing. And I'm like, all right, I've done it. The end of the week rolls around, we have a staff meeting. I think about not even going because I feel so bad. I'm like, these teachers, these poor teachers, have been doing this for 20, 25 years, schlubbing around. It's taken me 5 days, and I've done it. I've figured out urban education. But I go, I be a good sport about it, and so I'm in this meeting, and I'm sitting next to this woman, Jean Lynch Galvin. I remember because she had 2 last names. And I'm sitting there, and I overhear a conversation she has, and she's talking to another teacher, and she says, yeah, you know, I had to throw Carlos out of class today because he called another student Chips. And I pause, and I look at her, and I was like, hey, Jean. When you said that Brendan, I'm like the cool, funny teacher. You probably heard of me. When you said that you had to throw a kid out of class for calling another kid Chips, like, what did you even mean by that? Like, what does that mean? And she said, oh yeah, you're new. It's like kids use it as like a slang swear word. It means like retarded. And so I feel the color leave my face. Jean clearly sees the color leave my face. I'm past bluffing. She says, what's wrong? I say, oh, I think I called the kid Chips like 100 times this week. And she said, what possible occasion would you have to call a kid Chips even one time? I said, oh, his name's Eric Estrada. And she like kind of looked at me for a second, and I said, you know, from the show Chips. And she was like, yeah, I know the fucking show Chips. I'm 45. What makes you possibly think the kids would think that reference was funny? Or even understand it? I said, right. It was Eric with a K, just like the actor. and she didn't get it, and I don't think she got it. She didn't act like she got it, and I apologized to the class, and I apologized to Chips, and he was cool about it. He was a good sport about it. And fast forward 5 years, and I think the upside to all this is that I'm no longer a teacher. So, thanks everybody.